This Christmas Eve, things will be a little different for Santa as he travels the world delivering presents for all the good little boys and girls who claim to be Christian. As in previous years, NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, will be tracking Santa's progress by long-range radar and satellite. This year, however, in conjunction with the United Nations and NATO, NORAD will be prepared to scramble F-18 fighter jets to ensure Santa does not violate the no-fly zone over Libya. A spokesman for the North Pole said this would not be an issue, as Santa has stated that his journey this year would require 25% less flight time, since he will be able to skip the Middle East entirely because there are no Christians left there. It's also been reported that Santa will be avoiding the areas around major airports because last year a 12-year-old at LaGuardia attempted to blind Rudolph with a laser pointer. Major U.S. government aerospace contractor Lockheed Martin has released a statement that their company has assisted Santa in equipping his sleigh with a classified active collision avoidance system to ensure that no reindeer are injured by remote-controlled aerial drones. Chinese President Xi Jinping has warned that if Santa flies too close to the disputed islands in the South China Sea, he will be fired upon. And North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un has warned that he will launch 1,000 nuclear missiles at the United States if Santa violates North Korean airspace. U.S. officials responded that they do not believe North Korea has nuclear capability, but it's interesting that Kim Jong-un apparently believes in Santa Claus. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has said that Santa Claus does not exist and that this whole Christmas myth is a cover story for a secret U.S. spy mission attempting to locate the Iranian nuclear enrichment sites, which, he adds, also do not exist. He ended his statement by saying, "Peace on earth, goodwill to men, and death to America." Soviet leader Vladimir Putin said that if Santa fails to stay away from the Soviet-held Crimean Peninsula, this would be considered an unacceptable act of provocation by the West, and as a precaution against such military escalation, he has sent an additional 20 bomber planes to attack targets in Syria. U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, during a campaign stop in Grand Rapids, Michigan, said, "This Santa guy says he's not a Muslim, but he refuses to shave his beard, and how do we know he even has a license to fly that thing?" In related news, Mrs. Claus joined Michelle Obama for a holiday brunch at the White House, where attendees were urged not to leave out milk and cookies for Santa, as milk contains unacceptable amounts of fat and cholesterol, and eating cookies can lead to obesity, which has become a serious health concern in Europe and North America. Mrs. Claus and Mrs. Obama suggested an alternative of kale salad, celery, and green tea. This reporter contacted sources in Santa's workshop and asked whether Santa himself would agree to these new dietary restrictions. An unnamed elf who was not allowed to comment publicly referred us to Santa's Twitter feed, which displayed a picture of a wilted salad, one small celery stalk, and an Arizona green tea juice box with the hashtag "Thanks Michelle Obama." Another elf named Star Twinkle Sparkle Shorts, citing workplace safety and security concerns at the North Pole, staged a demonstration at a Russian military base in the Novosibirsk Islands off the eastern coast of Siberia, where tiny protesters were seen carrying signs that read, "Elves' Lives Matter." In a press release, the North Pole said it was general policy not to comment on who was naughty and who was nice, but that Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, and NBC's Today Show host Matt Lauer would likely be receiving lumps of simulated coal made from natural hemp fibers. Actual coal, the press release went on to say, is a fossil fuel with massive carbon footprint, and global warming is considered a serious problem at the North Pole, where there is no land underneath the shrinking ice pack. That's the Santa Report for 2015. For Universal Omnibus News, I'm Dwight Bumble.